The next topic we are going to discuss with the introduction to interactive reports. So last session what we have done classical report and now how we are going to work with interactive report. So in this there is a content interactive reports overview, interactive events, how many types of events in interactive report, and there is like at-line selection so that user can select it by using line selections. At user command, you can place some commands and based on that you can get the information. Then in the at-line selection, so we are going to use hide technique and display multiple list. There are 20 secondary list and one basic list is possible. How you are going to do with the multiple list. Then interactive list processing, how we are going to take it from the one list to another list. Example of interactive reports. Then when you go with the at user command event, so we have to create a menu painter. So T code is SC41. So this we are going to learn. By end of this learning, so you're able to do this learning objective, right? After completing this chapter, you will be able to understand what are the interactive reports in ABAP program. To understand what are the events in interactive reports, how you are going to create events in reporting, and the secondary list events, how to display. To understand the functionality of hide area and the secondary list display output, and add user command, how to create a push buttons in or any other like things, menu painter, application toolbar, everything comes under like add user command with the menu painter. To create a reports and how writing the programs. This you are going to learn by end of this presentation. Right. There is a reports are classical report, interactive reports, and ALV reports, views, and etc. Right. ABAP queries and list viewers. The list produced by classical report, user cannot interact. Whereas the list produced by interactive report, user can interact and participate in retrieving the data at each and every level during the session. The ABAP programs write the list output by using a write keyword, and a basic list always will be produced by using start of selection event. You'll get the data in a basic list. When the event blocks that are not assigned to the interactive events processed by the system also you can generate by using dialog modules. The current index being created by using list index, there is a system field SY, LSI, and D, list index. The value of SY list index is 0 always because it is a basic list produced by start of selection. The start of selection event is a default event out of all events. The basic list contains the standard list status and the standard page header. And there are events top of page, end of page, all these events are applicable only for basic list. And whenever you click on a create and at-line selection, there is a predefined keyword that's called as a F2. F2 is a shortcut keyword, or you can double click on that to assign the function code. Internally, when you assign that a function code pick is created, means like a pick is a predefined function code. It should be allocated whatever you have done on a double click. Right. So in this, the program can display up to 21 secondary list, out of which is like a 20 secondary list. The basic list is nothing but a standard selection screen executable program can be created automatically. The list processing, the events will be interactive, right, interpreted by the processor, and the list process produced by all the things. Basically, at-line selection is a one type of interactive report. Again, sometimes one is at-line, next one is at user command. So we'll work out first at-line selection. Let me explain the theory topic, how it is work and what are the events. Right, there are some disadvantages or drawback with the classical report. That's what the interactive reports are provided. So in a classical report, I will get everything irrespective of that user choice. Right, it is possible in interactive report. Once we got the output, and from that user can select it by clicking. When you click a line, that is called as at-line selection. So when you click a commands or a buttons, this which we used to call as at user commands. Like push buttons we have to provide. These things we are going to do it in a menu painter. So once you have done a menu painter push buttons, we have to click on that so that user can directly swap to the one to another page, or like one command to another command, easily can provide that. Right. So in a basic list outline selection, right, I said like interactive list is provided by 0 basic list. A basic list is always produced by startup selection. Always the system list index, that is sy-lsind, system list index equals to 0, it is called as a basic list. You can provide basic details in a basic list. When you select a user can select when you double click on that, you'll get a next secondary list, like first secondary list, second secondary list, like third secondary list, maximum 30 secondary list, 20 secondary list can be created, right, in interactive report. Not more than 20 secondary list you cannot provide. Then what kind of advantages if you provide like this? Say for example, employee information. I don't want to provide complete information at this basic list level. I can provide only detailed list report in a second level, but basic information I'm providing, that's what we used to call as basic list. For example, employee number, name, and a personal address or official address. If I select personal address, for example, double click on a line, you're able to see that particular details and official details like this. You can hide the things by using interactive report, which we cannot hide the things in a classical reports. So we'll see how many types of events are there in a classical reports, events in an interactive report. Right, whatever applicable, all the events, classical report, here also it is applicable. That's what here I've provided up to this is a classical report. There is initialization event, then in this so in initialization is the event also, it is applicable in a classical as well as interactive report. Then at selection screen also applicable. Start of selection is a default here. Then end of selection, top of page. But the top of page and end of page events only applicable for basic list, not for secondary list. Fine. So when you work with at line selection, there is a event. At line selection is an event. At PF is one more event. At user command is a one more event. This is for buttons, push buttons, placing purpose. Whereas the top of page during line selection. In a classical report, when you provide top of page, this top of page event is applicable for each and every page, but the thing is, so it is provided same information in each and every page, heading is the same. If you want to go with a different page for different top of page, then you have to write it under top of page during line selection. So these are all the events which we are going to use it in interactive report. But here, based on a first interactive line selection, this is an event. And next event is at user command. Right. First we'll see at line selection, how we are going to write the code. Let me explain the overview of how to write the code. In a normal query, after startup selection, which we used to get the data from the database in a main query, after that at line selection is an event, we have to write at line selection. This at line selection event will work based on sy, lsi, nd. LSI and is nothing but list index. LS is list, IND is for index. It will work with a case statement when 1, because by default is 0 with a startup selection. It can be produced by startup selection. After that, it turn into when 1. So you have to write a query and you have to write a loop at itab or whatever internal table name. In that, there is a hide statement separately. You have to write it after write statements. Hide is a keyword. It's a keyword or a statement. Whatever content is clicked by user, right? At the runtime, we can click on a double click on a particular line. So according to that, that statement will be holds. Hide statement holds a content. Then this hide, by using this hide statement, which we can pass it to the second report level in a second looped. According to the first, we are getting the data into second, and when 2, we have to write the code and a looped itab. So here we are printing second report, and here looped itab and close it. Like this, when one, when two, second list, secondary list, third secondary list, like 20 maximum secondary reports we can create it, which we used to call as a drill down kind of reports also. Right, this is an example we'll work out, but this is a theory. Then the way we have to present is like hierarchies I have shown. Next, we'll focus before writing a user command, but we have to design the push buttons and functions in a graphical user interface, which we used to call as a GUI. SAP GUI graphical user interface, which is also called as a menu painter, transaction code is SC41. You can create in a menu painter. There are 4 options: title bar, menu bar, standard toolbar, application toolbar. And whenever you are designing any push buttons, you have to handle this menu bar, and by default in a standard toolbar is disabled. Then you have to handle save, back, exit and cancel every option. You can create your own push buttons in a menu painter, like 35 push buttons you can place it, and 6 menus you can create it, and by default you'll get a system and help 2 menus you'll get, and 3 sub menus you can create it under main menu. Right, everything we have to create by using menu painter in SC41. There are 2 options inside program. You can double click on that menu painter, you can create it, or directly go through SC41 is the T code. From that you can take it. Right, this is application like a function keys in a menu painter. Right, function codes. Under function codes you can go through like a function keys, standard toolbar, application and menu bar. Right, it also contains GUI status. There is a title you can provide and provide the document like a button, like and menus by using standard documents and list. Everything you can provide user interface. Right, this is also program title bar you can provide. If you want like any GUI titles, you can provide the graphical user interface title and all. Right, how to write the code for @user command, then how it will work. Based on a first like any standard startup selection, and under here you have to provide, there is an event called as keyword set pf-status. Here you can provide starting with a Z or Y and a menu painter name. This indicates in a single quotes and a capital letter menu painter. Place the cursor on here. You have to double click on that so that it will turn into like a call to menu painter you have created. There you have to create how many push buttons or how many keys you want, you can create it. But by using set pf status, you are going to link with the SC38 to SC41 menu painter. According to this, the action part, everything you have to write it in SC38 only. The design part only in menu painter. Right, @user command you have to use it like this. @user is a keyword command. @user command is a keyword event, and it will work based on a SY UCOM. A UCOM is nothing but a user command. SY is a U means user command. You are creating user commands. For example, here this is a function code. Button name is different, button text is different, but a function code, according to the function code, you have to handle the code. When like function code 1 write some piece of code, when function code 2 write some piece of code. So when you do it this according to the function codes, it will display. Right, generally function codes @user commands, user has to be click on a push button or a selecting particular menu bar or press a function key. According to that it will trigger. Based on the function codes it will trigger. Right, whatever it appears here, then @user activating @user command. For example, you can write a different text for different buttons. It is possible to provide a text. It is possible to print text with icon or else key or icon Only plain icon also you can provide. User friendly, you can write it whatever information you can write. When I click push button X, then according to the function code what you have written, this logic will be displayed. Right? Button Y, it is displayed. The user click on a buttons that programmer creates on a GUI status. The system detects run Y. If you click, for example, button Y, it detects run Y function code what you have assigned as the function code behind this button. According to this, it will execute. Next, beyond the screens, like the ABAP processor reacts that at user command which event you have interacted. According to that, it will execute. So similarly, like same thing, then user has to be click, then run X, run Y function code, user command will work based on a SI user, system user commands. In this, you have to handle like this, but it must be caps and a single quotes, otherwise it will not work. Then when run X, run Y. Don't enter function code, only have to enter. You should not enter text of the function codes or any other stuff. Right, this is the way you have to write the codes. Now look at this in the first topic, interactive list event, how it will display. Right, line selection. First, you have to enter some standard selection scheme 1 to 100 or 1 to 1000, whatever, and a startup selection. With respect to startup selection, you'll get a first basic list, because basic list always produced by using write statement, and a basic list always index is 0. When you when you click on a particular line, and immediately the function code triggers, like a event will trigger at line selection, because user has clicked on a basic list on a 1. Always list index will be incremented by 1 plus 1. Then it will check case SY LSIND 1. Here it is 1. Whatever piece of code you have written under this, it will write statement, it will write in a basic list in output. Again, if you want to choose a line, whenever double click on a particular line, it increments, because already system list index is 1. When you click on a particular line, it increments plus 1. System like event will check at line selection when 2, then according to this write logic, it will write it here like this. Then currently we are in a system index list index 2. Similarly, like this, it will execute so and so a number of events. Maximum 20 secondary list we can provide, but in a real time cases, not more than like 3-4 will not use, because provided 20, but if you provide too many interaction, so definitely the end user will confuse where exactly which list, even though you're providing titles and all. Right, the main purpose of the line event, what exactly which purpose we are going to use it. Say for example, a flight information we are providing, but I am not providing complete list of details, just only we are providing basic information. If you want to see that, let us say Lufthansa Airlines or Frankfurt to like New York, then if you select a particular line, like particular double click on that, so that you can go through details, flight date, maximum number of seats, occupied seats, like this, so and so information will get it. According to that, user can participate and prepare. So this is a way we are going to use it, interactive reports basically. Now we'll work out, we'll write a piece of code, how it will work, and menu painter, at line selection, at user command will work out now. Right. So go to SE38, we are going to write a piece of code. First, let me write at line selection example. Right here, I'm writing Z ABAP interactive report. Right, so this is a program interactive report line. Right, click on create. So provide this short description, can be anything. This is a report. We have to select executable program, then click on save. Right, you can create a local object or you can create a package. Right, if it is transportable, you have to create with a request number, and the local objects I've created in this. So let me write it interactive report with three tables. One is Mara table, Marcy table, and MAKT table. So first one is Mara table, next MARC table, MAKT. ABAP is not a case sensitive, we can write it any. Fine. So here first I'm going to create one internal table. Right. So data begin of itab 1, for example, any name, occurs 0. Then here I'm creating end of itab 1. So in this, let me write it a few fields: Matner, type, Mara Matner. Next field is MB RSH, type, Mara MB RSH. Next, MTRT, type, Mara MTRT. This is a material type. First one is material number. The second one is MBRSH, is industrial sector. The third one is material type. Right. Next, we'll create a select options S underscore Matner for Mara Matner. Yeah, so I've created select option here because master table is Mara. Next, start of selection, there is an event here. Right. So let me write it first. Select Matner. Next, second field is MBRSH. Next, MTRT. From, there is a table, Mara table, into table itab 1. Next, where Matner in S underscore Matner, because original Matner from Mara table into what you have written as Matner. Then let me print like a loop at itab 1, because we have to print now, and loop. That here you have to write it, write statement inside loop. Write is a keyword, and place it like a chain operator, new line character, itab 1 hyphen Matner. I'm printing material number. Next, so let me copy this. Matner itab is a common. right, copy this and then right, next one is itab -mbrsh, next itab -mtrt, right, so just have written this, right. Next, if you want like just activate, save this. First we'll see the output and then click on syntactically check, syntax check, then after that activate. Now runtime object is created, click on enter. Right, now execute the report. So based on that, so we have to enter, for example, 1 to 100, there are a number of records in a Mara table, click on execute. So whatever we are getting the output, this output which we used to call as a basic list always list index is 0, and whenever you double click on that, nothing is happen, right? Then you have to select, for example, based on the selection, I want to provide a detailed list of Marcy information. So click on back and you can provide user-friendly hotspot also for to know that there is a something should be created. Right, I'm providing hotspot, so up right hand symbol will be displayed on output so that end user can think and he can write it. Right, next I'm taking at line selection. At line -selection is an event. So here before this you have to print internal table, because for second Marcy table I have to create a second internal table. So let me copy this and paste it here in a second internal table, so which I'm going to prepare itab 2, right here itab 2. And this second table, right, this is Mara, there is a Marcy information, table is Marcy, Matner is a common. Whenever you are working with interactive reports, there should be a link between first table to second table, then only it is possible to works type, let us say marc-works. Works is nothing but a plant. Look at now, I have created a second internal table. Now then I can write the code for this piece of code. Right, under this I'm writing here at line selection event. Now case sy-lsind, right, case should be end case. Now here you can write it case should be end case. Next, when 1, so when 1 means I'm writing select query for second report, select Matner, because in a second report there is a Matner, and works from Marcy table into table itab 2. Next, where Matner, generally we used to write it in, but don't write it in because we are getting the records from the second internal table, first internal table. That's what here you have to write in hide command in a first report. There is a hide is a technique, it holds a value. For example, I want to hide itab 1 Matner, means hide means holding the records. Whenever if you double click on a material number in a first report, that material number I want to save it under hide technique. Hide is a keyword, it holds the records temporarily, right? Itab 1 Matner have hide. Now this is your condition for second query purpose, where Matner of Marcy equals to whatever you're hiding the first table. According to this, with respect to, for example, here you have selected Matner, assume that you are selecting material number 23 or 30 record here, the same will hide. According to this, it will get the records. Right, now we have to print. So loop at I tab 2. Loop should be an loop. Now we have to print write statement I tab 2 hyphen Matner. Next you have to print I tab 2 hyphen works. Works is nothing but a plant. Yeah. So case should be in case. Now save this and activate and run. Let me explain first scenario, how it is getting the data from the first table to second table, the second interactive report. Based on that, we'll open our next second secondary report. Click on continue and activate and run your code. Right, the code is activated, everything is proper. Now execute this. For example, 1 to 100, there are some records. Right, I click on execute this. Check, we have done some hotspot. Hotspot is nothing but upright hand symbol. The cursor is changed to the right hand symbol. For example, 38 material number, if I want to click, according to the 38 material number, I am able to print second secondary list, first secondary list, because 38 material is picking the data from the Marcy table, and there is a plant is available in a Marcy table 1000. And if you want to go back directly, you cannot go back to the 0, like just you have to press F3. Right, again you have to press F3. What we have done in a first secondary list level, let me prepare one more second secondary list report in this. Right, here, so I want to prepare third internal table for MAKT table. So let me copy this code. Right, I'm preparing third internal table. This is I tab 3. Right, here MAKT table. Right, MAKT is a material text, and here I'll prepare different material text. MAKT X is a material text. Type MAKT table. Right, a material text is field name. Right. In a third internal table, I have prepared only 2 fields, but what is the common here? In a first is Matner, second also Matner, third also Matner. With respect to Matner, you can create it third field. Now back to your headline selection before loop and end loop. So right, copy this when 1, or like you can write it here. So when 2. Right, when secondary list, you can write a piece of code like this. Select Matner MAKT X from MARC into table I tab 2. But you can write the condition where Matner equals 2, because whenever you are getting the data from the second, you have to hide the here. So here first in a first report level, second report level, hide I tab 2 hyphen Matner. Hide is a separate statement, so don't go with the commas and all, or you can write it like here. In a second report, I am providing hotspot. Right, hotspot is optional, you can provide. Yeah, hotspot, so that user can think something is there, you can click on that. Right, in a second report, if you click on a Matner, this Matner will be stored in hide, and here equals to I tab 2 hyphen Matner, because I'm getting the results based on what you have selected material number in second report. right. Then again you have to sprint loop at I tab 2, right. Loop should be and loop. Then here you can write it the right statement. So what new line character I tab 2 hyphen Matner. Yeah, next I tab 2 hyphen there is MAKTX, right. So we are printing secondary list, right. It is printing based on a first, right. Activate this, click on continue. There is errors, go through display errors. It's not MATKS, it is MAKTX. Right, in a declaration or somewhere you have specified, double click on this error, directly you're able to go through MA, right, Matner MAKTX. What we have declared in a declaration you can observe in a third internal table. Right here we have declared MAKTX, MAKT table, KTX. But here line number 75, right, Matner. This is not from Marcy table, this is MAKT table, right. This is what I issue with this, and I check that, activate, run now. So click on enter, click on display errors, into table I tab 2. Yeah, this is I tab 3 because we are placing into 3, right. So loop it I tab 3. So it's print mistake we have done with the 2, right. And now activate this, click on enter. Right, so we have done with the 3 levels. First is basic, second is first secondary, third is second secondary. Now activate this and run, enter 1 to 100. Right, enter in this select option 1 to 100, click on execute button. Right, we got the results in a first report. This is what a basic list what we are getting. For example, for 58 middle number I want to click on a first. According to the 58 there are the different plans in a Marcy table. If I select any Marcy second information, click on F8, you are getting the data from third table. But if you want as per language specific, you can write the code. You have to open with the language keyword based on country codes. You can open that. Right. This is what headline selection demo. And now we'll provide some topo page with a different topo page, each and every page. Click on back, and there is no option you cannot jump from the first to third or third to second. Always you have to keep on go back, and as per records you have to click on back. Right, I click on back. Now click on back to the source code. Right. And if you write top of page, end of page, the top of page, end of page events are applicable only for basic list. Right. Here, for example, top of page, I've written top of page event, write statement, material master info from Mara table. This is what I'm printing for Mara table. Next, if you want to print different headings for different top of pages, there is an event called as top of page during line selection. You can write it here. Top of page during line selection is event. Again, you have to take the cursor back to the case sy-lsind list index, right, when 1, so you can print, for example, write so material master info from MARC table. This is what I am printing for MARC. The same thing here. You can copy these two lines. When to, I want to display second table, second output for top of page for MAKT table. Go with this in a 2, metal master info from MAKT, right, MAKT table. Case should be AND case. You should not enter here. In the next line you have to place the cursor on next line. Case should be AND case. Right, with respect to line, we are printing top of page, different top of page, MARC and MAKT. Now activate this, click on continue. Now execute this, run this code, write a 1 to 100 or whatever. Right, when you execute this, check material master info from Mara table. This we are getting from top of page. I say top of page is applicable for only basic list. If you click on particular F8, look at now in the second report, we are getting different top of page from MARC table, because when one we have took top of page during line selection. When you click this, you are getting the different top of page MAKT. Right, this is what at line selection demo. Now we'll work out the second report at user command. What is the drawback here? Because user cannot be compared to reports and it cannot go with the side-by-side report, and it's not like user friendly. When you place it push buttons, then user can click or directly any push button. That's what next report. So what I'm going to explain is top of at user command functions. Right, so let me copy the same code into different program, that here interactive command. Click on copy. So whenever you copy it, then your program should be in active mode, then you have to turn into active mode and create in a package or local object. Like click on change. Right, at this level it's not required all this stuff. Let me simplify the code first. So one table is enough. and then I'll delete this two tables data. It's required select options. Right, start of selection. Then a second report, there is no hide command. And let me delete this. And it's not required any hotspot here. First, let me make it very simple. Right, I'll delete all this stuff. Right, so save this option and activate. Just very basic query I have written. From that you have to write it interactive report and you can work with the at user commands. Let me execute first and I will show you that how where exactly you want to place it. So 1 to 100, first 100 metal masters info I'm going to display. Click on execute. Right. In this output, so you have to place some push buttons here. Then instead of clicking at line selection, then you have to place the function codes or push buttons, and you have to handle this all the code. And a code back to the source code. Right. So this is what a source code I have written. Tables, table name, internal table, select option, start of selection, simple query, and you'll get one output. Right. So after this, after end of loop, when you start prepare with the at user commands, at user -co at user command is a keyword event, and at this you have to provide before at user command. First we have to design set pf status, how to create a menu painter. Set pf status, and here in a single quotes you can start with like a pf, any set pf status 1 2 3 something. Right, this is you are creating SE41 name or called as a menu painter. Place the cursor on set pf status, double click on this, or else option 2 you can directly go through new T code SE41, you can attach later. Click on yes, click on yes and save button. Now we are creating first menu painter we are designing, and at this you can go with any PFS menu painter set pf status. There is a normal, dialog and context. First we'll go through the normal status. Right, in this everything you have to handle. Right, a menu bars, you can create some menu bars here. 6 menus you can create it, like for example menu 1. Right, we are creating menu 2 like this. Right, double click on take the cursor on a first, double click on a menu. Every menu also contains one function code. Let us say menu 1 is my function code I'm writing, right? Or else menu fs function code. It's not a keyword, you can write it anything. Next, you can display any text under this. Similarly, you can write a menu to, double click on that, you can write any print. So I have written menu fs and click on this, you can prepare 6 menus. Right, next, so let me create application toolbar. As a user you have to handle everything, save, back, functions, you go through like exit and buttons. And before this there is a menu items. You can go through like first, for example let me write it one function code, a disp. Place a cursor, this first 4 lines are nothing but a function code. Double click on that and I can write it static. Click on continue static and dynamic text, and there is a function text. So displays my button function name. And also you can go through with icon and icon text. Click on this if you want to provide any icon. Right, let me write it display with icon. Right, I can select it any icon like this. Click on continue. So let me create one more. When you create, it is asking like a shortcut keywords. If you provide F1 is already occupied with help, F2 is a shortcut, F3 is for back, F5 you can select it. For F5 is a shortcut keyword for so first button. Click on continue. So what I have done, disp is my function code. I have done with the icon for display. Let me write it one more. Let us say write one is one more function code. Double click on this, write one function code. At runtime you'll get a function, you won't see that function codes, only text it will appear. Right, function text you can write it, write info. Click on continue. Right, F5 is already occupied, now it is available F6. Double click on that F6 shortcut keyword for second button, or click on continue. Right, in this I am not providing any only function text, I am not attaching with anything. Click on continue. Right, at this right, like let us say I'll create one more T code. Double click on this. Right, I click on continue. You can write it anything. Right, any text you have written. Click on continue. Right, F7. Click on continue. Now what I have done, like this 35 push buttons you can create it in a one menu painter. Right, disp is my function code, write one is my function code, T code is a function code. According to the function, as per function codes you can display that. Now switch off this application toolbar, and as a user you have to handle this function code also. And then place a cursor on here and I can write it as save. There is a back, then you have to write it exit and then cancel. Right, I click on this. Make sure that a menu painter should be activate. By default it is inactive. active revised, there is a button active, activate. So click on enter. So once you have activated, so now we have to write the code in program by using @user command, case some function code. Look at now, this is activated. One step, click on back. So you are in a source code now. This is the way you have to attach menu painter, or you can create, go to SC41, you can copy the code menu painter name here. Now we have to write the command @user command, case sy-u ucom, case should be end case. Right here, when what is the first function code, we have written disp. When disp, we can write it some write statement. So I'm writing like a demo on interactive report. Fine. Next function code, when I've written T code. Right. So I can call like a call transaction. So I'm calling, there is a T code SA11. Right, you can write it like this. Design is done, then when function code according to that, you can call anything. Now activate this. Click on enter. Now execute this. Right, click on 1 to 100. Select a range of information, click on enter. Look at now the output which we got it basic list. Based on this, they have displayed like a display is a keyword. When you click on a display, you'll get whatever you have written a code under that, write statement. When you click on a call transaction, you'll get like check demo on interactive report what we have written. I have not written any logic for write info. When you click on transaction, so you're able to call transaction SC11 also directly. Right, one step back. Right, one step back. You are in interactive report now. So this is what advantage with compare with outline selection. If you provide too much details in outline selection, end user may be like missing that hierarchy where exactly in the first or second position. You cannot compare first to the last report. That's what @user commands is user friendly. You can directly jump to the one transaction code to another transaction code like this. You can write it. And also whatever we have created menu, look at this menu also created the same way you have to handle the code when menu one function code write something, so that it will get menu options also. Right, when you go back to the here, you have to write the codes like this. Right, double click on this, you can observe which function code we have written under menu. Right, I have written write one is a one function code, and a menu bar I have written one function code. Menu one is a menu fs. Right, by using menu fs, so we have to handle the code. Activate if you have done any changes. and one step back. Right, the same way you can write it like here. Fine. So when menu fs, this is what my function code. Write statement calling menu bar functions. You can write it any piece of code. Right, activate the code, click on enter. Now execute this. So provide 1 to 100. So click on execute. Look at now there is a menu here in output area. So when you click on a menu, right, check we are calling menu bar functions. Through menu also you can trigger like this, or directly go through the transaction code like this. Everything is possible. User can go through any options like anyway. Right, I click on back, right, back to the source code. Right, so this is